Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the TB&J podcast. Sitting across from me is my good buddy Troy Brittingham.
I believe you're Jeff.
You would believe correctly. It's just the two of us this time doing Mandalorian Chapter 18, a.k.a. Season 3, Episode 2, a.k.a. The Mines of Mandalore.
A.k.a. an episode.
The titling on Mandalorian episodes is ridiculous, honestly. I love that they're doing, the chapter book nonsense, like I'm a 5-year-old going through, my first Junie B. Jones
I'm
book.
amazed that they didn't do, an Avatar, book 2 or something.
Oh, my God, that would have sucked.
I mean,
they kind of did the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, but that's like a side thing.
But that's the thing. It's a different book.
It was really it was only 6 episodes. It was like the pamphlet of Boba Fett. Was it 6 episodes? Am I right
The
about
pamphlet.
that?
It was like a zine back in the day. You had your fucking music zines.
Obi-Wan was 6 episodes. Am I wrong?
Obi-Wan was 6. I believe Boba Fett was also 6. I believe they were just short little spin-off series. Anyway, let's get into it. TB&J! Let's pretend like we're good at our jobs or something. TB&J! Actually, wait up, Troy! That's the wrong button. That's the button I meant to hit. Guys, if you listen to this podcast and you hear our theme song all the time, it's a wonderful theme song, isn't it? It was written and recorded by my best friend in the world, John Fitzwater, a.k.a. Hey Mark, Let's Riot on Spotify. He just dropped a new EP of stuff that he recorded ages ago and didn't bother releasing, and then he remastered it and made it really, really nice. Put it up on Spotify. Go listen to Hey Mark, Let's Riot on Spotify. And that's my plug for my best friend's band. And by band, I mean him by himself, really, and his girlfriend is the producer. Anyway, Mandalorian Chapter 18, The Mines of Mandalore.
There are 7 episodes of Boba Fett, by the way. Weird number. Anyway.
That is a weird number. So we always do the thumbs up, thumbs down thing, and Troy, thumbs up, thumbs down.
I'm thumbs down.
You know what? I'm kind of thumbs down as well.
You're kind of thumbs down.
It's a hesitant thumbs down. It's
okay.
kind of like a meh.
Okay.
This is a very mid episode, and that sucks. Because here's the thing. And I was just saying this a minute ago, because I literally just finished the episode with Troy sitting next to me on my couch. Mandalorian, as we've said on this podcast, is one of the best Star Wars things to come out of the Disney universe.
The first 2 seasons are incredible.
Oh, first 2 seasons by themselves are the best short story ever. I feel like season 3 got off to a really bad start, and they're just not quite hitting it.
And it could recover because in the trailers there's a bunch of stuff of he's leading a bunch of Mandalorians, so maybe something cool will happen.
I didn't see the trailers. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, and I was trying to get to a point yesterday, and we were kind of jumping all over each other. Or last episode.
We can pretend it was yesterday.
Yeah. If you listened to it yesterday,
then it was yesterday, or an hour ago, or whenever you listen to it.
Time has no meaning after this podcast comes out.
Time has no meaning in podcasts in general. You upload it, and then it's just there forever.
But Dee was saying that there's a bunch of stuff of they really need an end point. And I feel there are some endpoints that they're setting up of Thrawn and Ezra and stuff like that. And you can argue some of them are it relies on you having knowledge of watching 4 seasons of a cartoon that
not even 4 seasons of a cartoon, but multiple cartoons, because you've got Clone Wars that set up the Bo-Katan story.
But I feel Ezra and Thrawn you could get with just Rebels.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Ezra and Thrawn would be Rebels, but if you want to know more about Bo-Katan, you have to watch the Clone Wars. Ahsoka Tano is in both Rebels and Clone Wars. Mm-hmm. So,
that's 11 seasons.
To be fair, I'm not complaining about that at all.
Sure.
I feel the diehards that have been following the cartoons and been really investing in this universe, they deserve to have their time and hard work paid off. Mm-hmm. I do genuinely believe that.
And again, Ezra is a mystery cliffhanger story from 2014. So
we're going on almost 10 years.
And Ezra is a character I love. I love all of Rebels. I controversially think that I might like Rebels more than Clone Wars. And it's a thing where I'm I absolutely want this to be paid off.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it sucks because there were so many loose ends with that cartoon before LucasArts ended up selling to Disney.
No,
or
actually,
was that post-Disney?
Disney was actually, or Rebels was actually Disney XD. It was one of the first things they did afterwards.
The X stands for extra. The D stands for dick. Continue.
And it was a whole thing of the Rebels ends it has like an ending, like a series finale, and that series finale, spoilers, is Ezra defeats Thrawn by basically.
Whoa! I haven't seen it, man.
But
Go on.
they lightspeed jump to like fucking who knows where, and they're both lost. Like, air quotes forever. But
are they like beyond the Outer Rim?
That's what people are that's what people think, and it seems like the Ahsoka show, because he tells Ahsoka to go find him, and she goes and finds Sabine, because Sabine's like the one person that he trusts. Not one person he trusts, but the person he trusts the most.
Well, yeah.
And
Ezra was a trusting motherfucker.
Yeah, and it seems like.
And look where that got him.
But it seems like the Ahsoka show would probably be her and Sabine going off to go find
Ezra and Thrawn. I guess
they'd be relatively in the same place probably.
I wonder if they find Ezra and he's just standing there like Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat 3, just holding a skull with a spine attached, and it's just like, sorry, I fucking hate the guy, and here we are stuck.
Yeah, I did some dark-sided shit. It was just, it's been a while.
Or
you have a lot to catch up on.
The skull and spine are laying there, and his decaying body is just in the corner. It's like, I don't know what happened. I fell asleep. I woke up one day. He was just like that.
I said it would be wild if you find them after 10 years of waiting for payoff for the story, and they're just like, they both starved to death. All right, get back in the ship.
Yeah, they starved to death ages ago. That sucks. Or oh man, or like they're just sitting there, just chowing down on some food. Like, hey, this is my best buddy Thrawn. How are you? Like, I don't. It just seems like a weird place to leave it. But I guess we'll find out more with Ahsoka.
I mean, if you watch Rebels, it's not that weird. It's a great sort of ending to that series.
But back to Mandalorian.
Yes.
What'd you hate about this, Troy? Because you were the biggest defender last week.
So last week I was actually a fan. You guys said that you were like, by the point where I was like, this is the best like space fight in a while. You guys were both like, we both checked out by then, and I was kind of like, it wasn't like
as soon as I saw the fucking pirate captain looking like a cross between Davy Jones and like Boss Nass, and
yeah, but that was after the space fight. but no, like he looked ridiculous, and to be fair, I think out of all the season intros, this was the weakest one. But I still enjoyed myself when I was watching it.
I think it's that 3-headed dragon meme where they've got the serious one and the one that's got an eye cocked, and then the goofy ass looking one. Like that's season 3. Season 3 is the goofy ass looking one.
But episode 2 like goes back on a bunch of sort of stuff that they were gonna set up, because I thought that was the whole thing, is they were just speed running, setting stuff up, and I was like, okay, I can give a break if you're just trying to really get to like, this is the stuff that's happening this season. I honestly think when you surprised me when you said I have like it was a slight thumbs down. I think this may be, and I really thought about this before the episode, this might be my least favorite Mandalorian episode.
See, episode 2 here.
Yeah. Of like all 3 seasons.
It's not great.
No.
And like I guess my expectations were lower with this one.
Sure.
So, but like this one didn't suck.
Yeah, I liked one, so maybe that was the part of it.
Where this one sucked, it sucked really hard, whereas the first episode, when it sucked, it wasn't too bad.
Mm-hmm.
The first episode felt like it was just bland all the way through. This episode felt like it had some good shit and then some really, really bad shit.
Right. I mean, and it's boring. Like,
yeah, that's it. I was on my fucking phone at the episode.
Like, let's think about really what happens structurally in this episode. And I'm gonna be a little reductionist here for the sake of podcasting.
I'll help you out. So we go to Tatooine,
sure,
and we see Amy Sedaris being just a straight-up criminal.
Sure, but that's fine. Paley Moto, great.
Sure, awesome.
Like her.
Pod Racer made an appearance. That was cool. Felt a little like, hey, guys, remember that cool thing in 99?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at the screen from...
Also, when she said, no chance cubes here, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, Leonardo points at the screen.
Yeah, Leonardo points at the screen with his champagne glass.
Mm-hmm, with his 20-year-old girlfriend.
And instead of getting the one droid he trusted repaired, because this man famously hates droids and hates all of them, it must be that one... He's like, no, I guess I'll take this other droid. And who is it? Oh, it happens to be R5-D4, the one that broke in episode 4
and
that
Leonardo points at the screen.
Uncle Owen did not buy. Okay, cool.
Leonardo stands up and points at the screen.
Leonardo doesn't even sit down anymore. He's just standing up like, oh!
He's hopping up and down.
Look at all these references. Don't you guys love this? No. So he gets the droid, I guess. and then he flies off to Mandalore without a single fucking plan, okay? And that, going there without a plan, is downright just absolutely mind-bogglingly stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But the trip over there where he's talking to Grogu about the Mandalorian system and how a Mandalorian needs to know how to navigate so you'll never be lost and stuff, I was like, that's good. I like this. I like him trying to raise Grogu to be a Mando.
Yeah, I am a big fan of the one thing that it seems like they're doing this season that they didn't do the other seasons was the last 2 seasons he was trying to drop him off in a place he'll be safe.
Yeah.
And now he came back, so he's like, okay, well, he's, my kid now.
He also still has that Beskar chainmail, right?
Yes, I
like
think.
under his that was a thing, right? I didn't make that up. I didn't fever dream that.
No, you didn't. I don't know if it's there, but it was.
It probably won't make itself known unless it needs to be, like a Deus Ex Machina kind of thing.
What was I gonna say? This season he is like being like, okay, well, he's my kid now, so I'm gonna raise him and teach him stuff now.
Yeah.
Where the last one he was just like, listen, I gotta drop you off. You're cute, but gotta give you to Luke.
Right. You're cute and all, but my lifestyle is nowhere for a kid. And as cool as it'd be to have my own foundling, you deserve to be with your own kind in the Jedi. But anyway, so they're going to Mandalore, and then he just waltzes into Mandalore and doesn't have any sort of plan. Which is my
biggest issue. Is let's look at the last few episodes of not even the Mandalorian. The last few times the Mandalorians appeared, because most of it was in Book of Boba Fett.
Yep.
So, final episode of the last season of Mando season 2, and I shouldn't say spoilers because this is Mando season 3.
Yeah.
Why are you watching this? But he takes off his mask. Grogu sees him, and a bunch of other people see him. He then, in Boba Fett, goes to the armorer. She's like, sorry, you're not a Mandalorian anymore. So he's like, okay. Goes, gets Grogu again in the next episode of Boba Fett, or 2 episodes later in Boba Fett. Then this season starts, and he goes, hey, I'm going to Mandalore. She goes, okay, cool. Now he goes to Mandalore, goes into the waters, and I'm assuming he's a Mandalorian again by the rules of the whole thing. So that's this is the biggest part of his personality is he's like, I can't take my mask off. Oh, I did it. This is a really important, impactful thing, and it's undone in 4 episodes of a thing.
Yeah, it seems like there should have been a bigger build up to this.
There's no journey.
Unless, my only hope, I guess, at this point, is that Bo-Katan does actually manage to get through to him and be like, listen, man, I understand the Creed is all we have sometimes, but, Creed ain't done us shit, and we're dying.
Well, it's even weirder than that because she pointed out when they first met, they're like, yeah, that's a weird cult. We don't normally do that. None of us do that. She has her mask off all the time.
Right. She's like, we don't do that anymore. That's stupid. What are you doing?
And in Clone Wars, they've never followed that rule. That was never a rule.
Growing up and you stop believing in Santa. It's what are you doing, Mando?
Yeah, and now I just like the idea of a bunch of Mandalorian kids running around, and they're just they're like, oh, no, you have to keep it on. It's like, why aren't you wearing it, Mom and Dad? Dad, shut up.
You'll get it when you're older. Wink.
No, but
they do a Jim from The Office, just look to the camera. Just
That's what they need. They need Star Wars, but The Office.
I love that I looked to the corner of my room as if there was a camera there.
On an audio-only podcast?
On an audio-only podcast, I did a visual gag.
There's more than one. There's 2 Office podcasts, from the people who made it.
Yeah, I know.
Do you think they ever do visual gags where they just stare at the screen when there's no screen?
No, because they are professional actors.
It would be pretty funny if there was just 2 seconds of dead air.
There's a second one? I know Jenna Fisher and what's her name, Angela Kinsey are doing the Office ladies.
I want to say that who's the guy?
I would assume Oscar.
No, who's the bigger guy?
Oh, Kevin.
Yeah, I think he does one.
Okay.
I don't know who he does it with, but I think he does one.
Huh.
But
didn't know there was room in the world for 2 different Office podcasts, but I guess when it's the biggest television show since 2000.
Well, yeah, he didn't want the whole industry to be taken over by women podcasts are usually like we need to get some more white guys in there.
Oh yeah.
So
absolutely,
that's probably what he was thinking.
Totes.
But no, with this like, my whole thought is like she's just walking along with him on his whole journey, and she's just like, man, like I can't believe you believe in this stuff, and it's sort of put in a way of like you said, like believing in Santa. Like it seems like a Christmas movie where it's like, don't worry, this old curmudgeon will believe in Santa by the end of this story,
like a Hallmark movie.
But it feels more like the story should be, hey, you're in a cult. Let's get you out of a cult. Because, like, it was a theory of ours where we were like, what if the armor's a bad guy? Because you figure out it's a cult, and you're like, oh, shit, like, maybe she's bad.
Yeah, and it kind of seems like she might be. She's certainly not good.
But it's like, but this, like, the last few episodes have almost weirdly been, like, kind of pro-cult.
Well, it's what he wants to do.
Sure.
And as our pro-tag and our only frame of reference, I guess we have to, like, be on his side, kind of. But, like, I don't know,
I just
man.
feel like there's a way it could have been done where Bo's like, hey, maybe don't go off the deep end with this.
Literally, the man almost drowned. The end of the episode, he goes to step into the living waters, and the steps are broken, and it just goes straight down for fucking miles. Like, no. First the fuck of all, you get on this planet and you are like, oh, the air's breathable. That's great. You don't know what the pressure is like.
And then he fights the Morlocks from the time machine.
I was going to say the fucking Gamorreans from episode 6, but yeah, sure.
No, it's
Morlocks.
H.G. Wells' The Morlocks.
Oh, I see. You're going a different route.
Yeah. It's what they look like. Look up the Morlocks, the time machine.
As a man who was raised by a dad who was a Navy sailor, shout out, Pops, I know you listen. My dad taught me the importance of atmospheric pressure. So when you get onto a planet you don't know, and you don't know exactly what the
As you often do.
Yeah, of course. I interplanetary travel a lot.
Yeah.
When you
Make
start
scheduling the podcast very difficult.
when you start going deeper into the planet, first of all, you're wearing Beskar armor, which is what, denser than lead? I'm gonna argue, because it's damn near indestructible. So you are putting infinitely more pressure on yourself in that armor. I don't know why your joints haven't collapsed yet. And then you're gonna step into water and sink hundreds of feet down. She dived for a long time before she found him.
Well,
and assuming these people are an average of 6 feet tall, that's, I don't know, 300 feet at least. And then she's just gonna jetpack up.
Well,
No.
they need to fit a whole mythosaur down there. So.
Also, a whole mythosaur down there that we just kind of glimpse at the very end. No, but you're going down all that water after already being underground for like miles. There's no way your joints exist at all right? There's no way you are standing upright. You are going to be on the ground, crawling from the sheer level of atmospheric pressure. And I know this is a make-believe fantasy land, but it's called science fiction. You should put some science in your fiction. Don't try to fucking play me like you just went miles deep into a planet down to its core and you're fine. You can just get out of the water and just be fine. Fuck you. You've got the bends at least. Your knees are destroyed at worst. End of rant. Nothing pisses me off more than when I watch TV and they get science completely wrong in an area that I actually know my shit about. Which makes me think, like, people smarter than me probably don't watch TV for this exact reason, because it just pisses them off.
There is, like, a level of, like, we're also covering The Last of Us. And, like, there's things in that where you're like, okay, maybe that doesn't happen in real life. But that show's so believable everywhere else that sometimes you're like, yeah, it's fake.
Right.
Like, and you can, like,
and they
get
at least
past...
create some fake science around it to make it seem probable.
Mm-hmm. Or like even a show that has probably a little bit less tight writing on some of that stuff, like The Boys.
Oh, for sure.
The Boys has so many things where you're like, well, that guy's turned into jelly now,
Yeah.
and like somehow he's alive. But
then they just wave the magic compound V wand, and they're just like, oh yeah, right.
But even if they don't do that, you're still like, well, the show has been tight enough where like I can ignore this one time. This whole episode, but like, God, the structure of this episode.
Wait! I'm sorry.
Go
They
for it.
are entering Mandalore, and all of his computers on his ship are acting up because the electromagnetic field must be fucked. So nobody outside the planet will be able to hear us. R5 disappears. Let me try to raise him on the radio that I literally just said will not work. Are you absolutely freaking stupid, Din Djarin?
It sounded like you said that people outside the planet can't hear him, so I'll give him that.
That's thin ice at best,
Sure.
Troy.
But I mean, listen, and if it was a good episode, that would be that's what I'm saying. That would be the thing where I'd be like, it's not a big deal.
If that was the one thing, fine. But it's because they fucked up the atmosphere that I paid attention to the radio thing.
But it's just like I said before, it's such a boring episode.
And before any of you fucking yell at me, D, I know you listen when you're not physically here. It's a fictional planet. Maybe their atmospheres are
D would not
different.
make fun of you for that. D would, I feel like, be on your side on that one.
I want to say he'd be on my side, but it's also a fictional planet. I don't know what the atmospheres are like. I know what atmosphere is like in 1 Earth's, but I don't know if it's like the Mandalorian atmospheric pressure is like 0.2 Earth's. Like, it could be different. I don't fucking know. But still, that was too much distance into the ground to ignore.
But again, if you take the reductionist take on this episode, right? It's they go to Paley-Moto, they get a droid, they go to Mandalore. He goes down into the cave, he gets caught. They leave. Grogu leaves the cave, goes and gets Bo-Katan, goes down, and you watch the exact same scene of them going back into the cave.
The same walk,
and like. To the point where, like, both times Grogu, like, looks over and sees the little, like, lizard bat thing in the sewer, and, like...
Dragon. It was a little dragon.
Yeah, sure. Lizard. It's a little dragon, you're right.
Yeah.
For some reason, that didn't connect in my head until now.
What's the dragon's name from, fucking, Mulan?
Mushu.
Mushu, that's it. Yeah. Little Mushu-looking motherfucker.
Grogu and Mushu.
Grogu and Mushu, there you go.
But...
Dynamic duo.
But they do the exact same walk down. He does, like, all the same, like, facial features almost, and, like, same reaction shots to everything. And I'm like, can't we, like, just kind of get through this?
But the director was like, we can reuse that footage, right?
But nothing happens in this. It feels like nothing happens, but his goal is achieved that I thought was the goal for the season.
Yeah, it certainly feels like he just did the thing he said he was going to be a task.
Because let's think about it this way. Now he's a Mandalorian again. Jeff, I'm going to ask you this question. What's his next move? What's the next thing that happens in this season?
The next thing that happens, if everything continues the way I currently know Mando to be as a guy, he's probably going to head back to the Armorer and say that he's a true Mandalorian. Please teach me how to use the Darksaber.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can think of that's, like, on his to-do list that he hasn't checked off. Like, is just mastering that Darksaber. Which, I'd like to point out, Darksaber made a big appearance in this episode. That was cool.
Sure.
Seeing Mando struggle with it against those 3 fucking alien dudes, that was pretty dope. And then Bo-Katan picks it up and just effortlessly slices up some bitches with her little wrist shield.
So
that looks fucking comically useless, but I get it.
So the one cool thing from this episode...
Could you imagine if they give Captain America a sword?
I'm sure he's had a sword at one point.
Has he?
Maybe not in the movies, but somewhere along the lines.
I was going to say the dumbest thing ever on a nerd podcast. I was about to say, what if Wonder Woman let him borrow it for a fight? And then I was like, wait a second.
Canceled. But the one cool thing in this episode is the little, like, scavenger, like, cyborg guy. Mostly his reveal. But, like, he's also kind of like, he seems like the first challenge they would have in the whole, like, search to becoming a Mandalorian again. Like I said, I thought it was going to be a whole thing where, like, he's like, I need an assassin IG unit for this. And, like, they kind of killed, like, one guy and, like, a bunch of, like, weird cavemen and then swam and then he's done.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like that hard.
I mean...
And I know he got caught.
If he had IG-88, or IG-11, excuse me, I want to say IG-88 because he was
they're
bounty
all
hunter in 5.
Divisible by 11. It's fine.
Are they really?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. I was going to say
Those
that'd
two
be
are.
That'd be a cool feature for all the IG.
I think there is an
droids.
IG-44, so.
See? Come on, man. That's awesome. But no, IG-11, if he was there, Mando probably wouldn't have gotten captured.
Yeah, and
I would have loved to see a droid-on-droid battle. That would have been great.
I literally thought what was going to happen was they were like, okay, we're going to spend a few episodes, and like he's going to get IG-11 back. And I think that's still going to happen in the season because they set it up for
Yeah,
a
but this
reason.
could have been like his side quest to go find the memory unit.
Because every other season has been he's going to do side quests until his main thing is done. But then he just was like, I'll do my main thing in like 2 episodes, and I'll do side quests later. And it's like, what? That seems so weird. What is the structure of the season?
It's like Skyrim when you get to like fucking oh man, River Run, I think. And it's like you could talk to these guys and get equipped, or you can just run straight to fucking the Whitehall.
Yeah, there's
White
Run and Riverwood.
Riverwood and White Run.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's been a decade. Cut me some slack, everybody. But you get to Riverwood, and it's like you could talk to either of these guys and get equipped and get some backstory, and then you can head on your way to the quest, or you can just sprint through the town and go straight for Whiterun.
Yeah, we're not living in the past. We're gonna play Starfield soon, and that's gonna be great on launch and perfect.
Honestly, I've got high hopes for Starfield.
All right,
they've pushed it back several times.
I know.
I don't think it's gonna be.
Listen, I'm excited. I will play it. I'm just saying.
Will you though? You don't really play single player games anymore.
I'll play like a big Bethesda game probably.
Is this going to be the game that makes you get a next gen console?
I'm thinking about doing it soon in general.
That's how I have to fucking
in Star Wars.
That's it for Mando episode 2. We're gonna go on to consoles now.
The synopsis. The episode sucks and is boring.
And apparently they're gonna have to fight a fucking mythosaur in episode 3.
I think they're just going to ignore it. I think that it's going to be like a thing that's down there, and then when they go back later, it's going to be a big reveal for something. It's going to be like the Rancor and Boba Fett.
Sure. Anyway.
But yeah, I think that.
First of all, important question. Series X or Series S? I feel like you don't have the need for an X.
No, probably not.
Because you don't really care about visuals too much, and you don't have like a big fancy $1,000 TV.
I have a pretty good TV actually right now.
But that's like a pretty good TV is fine, but an S will do great on a pretty good TV.
Sure.
Unless you have like a $3,000 TV. I
don't need everything.
And X has a disc drive, which I don't think you care about too much either, because you're all digital these days, aren't you?
Yeah, but that's only because my disk drive is bad and it doesn't work great.
So fuck it and just save $250 and get the S.
That's probably what I'm gonna do. But I might do it soon for. I don't think I need to do it for this, but I might do it for in sticking with Star Wars. I'll probably get it for Jedi Survivor.
That's right, Jedi Survivor comes out in like a month.
Mm-hmm. And again. Probably good Star Wars.
Here's my thing, right? Speaking of those two things, why wouldn't they release Jedi Survivor on May the 4th? And why wouldn't they release the Super Mario Brothers movie on March 10th, aka Mario Day?
Good question.
I feel like both of those things were slam dunks marketing wise, and they didn't do either of them.
Well, when is Mario? If it's like later in the year.
Well, Mario Brothers comes out like this week or next week.
Okay, so
they could have done it on March 10th.
Yeah.
They just chose not to, I guess, because they already pushed up the release date.
Right.
But I was going to tell you, I'm being forced to buy another next-gen console because my darling wife, or fiance, she bought me a Series X for Christmas because I had one pre-ordered, and then we started dating. I suddenly didn't have $500 laying around anymore to buy it, so I canceled it, and I was really sad and mopey about it for like 2.5 years, and then she bought me one for Christmas. But we do this thing where we play video games with each other, so like she'll show me a game from her childhood, and she'll play it while I'm watching over her shoulder. We'll get into it, and then I'll do one. We finished Final Fantasy VII Remake recently on the PlayStation 4, and then I showed her Batman Arkham Asylum, and then they did Crisis Core, which is the prequel to Final Fantasy VII. They remade that because originally it was a PSP game.
Yep.
That was on the PS4. We just finished that, and then the part 2 of the Final Fantasy VII remake comes out in December, PS5 only.
Ooh.
Right? They're not doing it cross-platform. So, like, I'm gonna have to buy a PS5 if we want to continue our little cute tradition of playing through the Final Fantasy VII games. Which fucking sucks, man. I don't want to buy a PS5. I already have a Series X. I love my Series X. I'm very happy with it.
On the other side of things, though, you could play Spider-Man.
Miles Morales?
Well, Spider-Man 2's coming out soon.
That's true. Yeah, because I already own and beat Spider-Man PS4.
It's coming out at like the same time as Starfield.
Yeah, I know. But the flip side of that is that we've been playing all these awesome new games on her PS4. It is a launch PS4 that when you get to certain cutscenes, it sounds like a jet engine.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not doing great.
I have a launch Xbox One, and there's times periodically where it won't even be on, and sometimes it just goes. And I'm just like, what? Why are you doing this? You're not on. What is going on? And I have to like go over and unplug it because it's like fucking 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I want to sleep. It doesn't do it often, but like every now and then it does do it.
I think your Xbox is haunted, man.
It might be.
Or it's just Bill Gates just spying on you through your Kinect.
Well, that's
that
fine.
you don't have.
Yeah, because they destroyed it. They melted them all down into nothing.
Mine is still in my bedroom. I love my Kinect.
And you're the one person that you can still spy on.
I know. I can still say Xbox on, and my Xbox turns on. It's beautiful.
And then you can play all those Kinect games that they make.
That's a good one. They did it really well with fucking Alien Isolation, though, because the alien could hear you through the Kinect sensor.
Yeah, if you want that game to be harder and fuck you over more.
If you want that game to be even harder and scarier, if you breathe too hard, that alien's going to be up your ass.
I used to play that in the living room of my parents' house like years ago, and so it was like anybody would walk in the room and I'm like, I need to turn this thing off because my mom's like, hey, dinner's ready. I'm like, well, he killed me. He died. I died because of lasagna. Like,
all right, Garfield.
No, he loves lasagna. He would never die from lasagna. I mean, eventually it'll get to him, but
an overdose.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the I'm Sorry, John comics?
No.
Oh god, it's like a horror take on Garfield where he's like this big
monster.
monster.
No, I have seen them. I didn't know that's what they're called.
Yeah, it's called I'm Sorry, John.
I like that, and I like Garfield without Garfield.
Garfield without Garfield.
Or Garfield minus Garfield.
Have you seen? They made a Garfield Mario Party knockoff on the Switch. It's called Garfield Lasagna Party.
I mean,
I'm
they have
not
Garfield
kidding.
carts. They're just trying to compete with Mario, I guess.
It's so bad.
Another Garfield movie?
Dude.
Chris Pratt is Garfield?
Shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up right now.
He loves lasagna. They
Bill
can get
Murray
him to be
or we
Italian
riot.
again.
Bill Murray or we riot.
Well, Bill Murray will never do it again.
Do you remember that extra from...
You're going to have to riot, I think.
Do you remember fucking... what movie was that?
Zombieland 2.
Zombieland, yeah. Zombieland 1, I think.
Well, Zombieland 1, he's in it and dies. Zombieland 2, it cuts back at the end and he's doing a promotional tour.
Do you have any regrets? Maybe Garfield.
Yeah, and then the end of Zombieland 2 is it's after the credits. He's doing like a press tour when the zombie apocalypse comes out, and he's just deadpan talking about like, yeah, Garfield 3 I think is really gonna be the one that takes it to the next level. And then the zombie outbreak happens, and he's like, yeah, I'm so happy.
Oh, God. Enough talking about things that are better than this podcast. You know.
And this episode of The Mandalorian.
Mandalorian was good-ish. Not really at all. I don't know why I said it was good.
I am still... Listen, there's been bad episodes of The Mandalorian before. I am hoping that it turns it around after these two. I hope that it was just like... They have like a specific story to tell, and they just kind of didn't give a shit about the one that I thought was going to be the important one of the season, but whatever.
Yeah.
But we'll maybe they were speed ran it because there's something cool after that. I don't know.
Maybe. I'm excited to find out. Kinda, sorta.
Yeah, 2 more episodes into this will be like miserable.
Yeah, this might become one of those shows that we just keep doing because we have to.
I mean, I hope not. I think that The Mandalorian is like a really good it's a
great
series.
Character.
Yeah, absolutely great
series
character.
Was really good. I just don't know what's going on.
I mean, it's only been 2 episodes. It could go anywhere.
We'll see. That concludes our coverage today for Mando episode 2, season 3. If you liked us, rate us, review us, comment, like, subscribe, all those fun things. I'm not very good at pimping out my own show. I'm very good at pimping out other people's productions, like Hey Mark, Let's Riot on Spotify. Tune in. Stream it. Come on, you know you want to.
Did they actually riot?
No, it's a play on words.
Oh.
One of the events that happened in the United States that is considered like the birth of the domestic punk movement is the Haymarket riots. So the Haymarket riots. Hey, Mark, let's riot.
So should we riot though?